Hey, so here I am again doing some testing on the 45 RC, and I got a request from Jim Hutchins, who's the one that's letting me borrow this. He owns J&R Sheds in Churchville, Maryland. He asked me to do some testing of this on some really steep banks that I have right down the hill from me. 30-degree banks. Over here behind me, we have a section that's almost 35 degrees. Now, me having so many hours on this equipment over 2 decades of Ventrac use, I'm pretty used to taking the machine in the extreme environments without being too afraid. The RC version is going to be good for those operators that are a little hesitant to approach those areas. Got a landscaping company, Garcia, just came by, and of course they see me holding this remote. I live for these moments, man. You know, when I trailer the Ventrac or drive past other landscapers and you see all their heads turn as I drive by, and I love that, absolutely. So Jim had asked me to mow some of these slopes with the fast cut flail and the RC. So I'm gonna do that. And it's of note, and we'll get down there and we'll see it, that there is a mowing contractor that mows the HOA common ground here. He has a walk behind, and that thing struggles. It crabs all the way across that slope, and it digs in and damages the turf every time that he tries to go up there. So we'll do this with the flail. And anyway, let's get started. First we turn the ignition key to on. The computer will boot up. Then it'll go to RC mode, which it should here shortly. Let's try this. Turn on the transmitter. There we go. That's done. All right, now we start the machine. Sweet. Bump up the RPM a little bit. Raise the attachment. Take the parking brake off. And back it out. Go for a little walk. Now Jim says that the range of this transmitter is 500 feet, or if it goes outside of visual range, the machine is also, I guess, going to automatically stop. So I'm not sure if it just sits there or if the engine shuts off. I imagine the parking brake would just automatically go on, PTO would shut off. I guess that's what I'm envisioning here. So we'll stand at this end and we'll cut this. So as you can see, you know, that walk behind kind of tears into the turf a little bit. We'll set this up right, I guess we'll set it right here so this sign isn't in the way. All right, so we'll bring the machine over this way. Now we have two different options on this controller. One will give you the equipment stats, so it'll show me like engine RPM, fuel level, and things of that sort. And then we can switch it. Now we have a screen with a camera that sits on the top of the ROPS, just underneath the strobe, or right in front of the strobe. All right, so I'm not sure what height this flail is set. So what I'll do, I'll make an initial pass down here on the flat and see how we look. All right. Bump up the RPMs a little bit. We'll put this in float. And this flail runs pretty smooth. compared to the other one that I tested. It had a vibration. This one's pretty nice. Now, before we get too close, I want to mention this, that there's a proximity sensor, and when the machine gets too close, the PTO automatically shuts off. So it sensed that I got too close, it shuts off, and then it gives a vibration in the controller telling me that it will not turn the PTO on. So let me step back a little further, turn it back on. It's actually a really good looking cut, by the way. I'm not sure the height on this, I didn't set it up. Alright, so we'll back up and we'll go across this slope coming toward us, so I guess we kind of get like a better visual. I think it'll look better coming towards us. Now at the end, that slope is a little greater than 30 degrees. It approaches like 32, 33 up there, something like that, at one spot. Now understand that this flail weighs 660 pounds on the front of this machine. I'll tell you what, we'll just go up and we'll kind of mow this a little bit into the wood line. All right, there we go. Now we'll come over this way. Now you can see how the walk behind mower guy, there's a branch hanging out here. He mowed around it. We're just gonna mow through it, you know, because why not? Now I'm not sure where my weight transfer is set. That's the other thing. Let me go check that, because this is bothering me. Well, actually, you know what? We'll bring it here. We got the remote. I ain't walking to that. We're bringing it here. Like, how stupid am I right now? I guess I'm just not used to a remote control Ventrac. Okay, I knew it. Weight transfer was completely wrong. We're gonna try this again. So there was no weight transfer at all onto the machine. I just noticed how light the front end seemed going. This grass is very wet and very slippery right now, and I could see that as it was starting to crab a little bit. So let's try this again. Now I think we could just drop this and float. Yep, there it goes. We'll turn that back on. Yeah, I'm getting the hang of this a little bit. All right, we'll try to come across the top of this hill again. Now, I wonder how many people driving by are making the connection that I'm standing here, the Ventrac guy, and maybe they don't even realize that there's nobody on the seat. Maybe they don't even realize it. I don't know. But now as an operator, if you're not used to using this equipment, that's going to feel really steep right now. And standing here, this actually feels very natural. It doesn't look out of place at all. Okay, it sensed that I'm too close. It shut off the PTO. Let me stand back a ways. Still tells me I'm too close. We'll try again. There we go. Okay, we'll cut into this dang briar bush. Heck yeah. Get some. I can't see what's in there, so I don't know if there are any logs or anything. Alright, let's turn around. You know what, just because we can, let's back up this hill. Because why not? I got too close. All right, let's try this again. All right, there we go. Now, as you can see, there's a little bit of crabbing. Barry Fry actually messaged me. He said I should put the Sunset Diamonds on this thing. I don't disagree, but since I'm only borrowing this machine for a few days, I'm just gonna leave it the way that it is. I mean, look at that, man. That is just awesome. Alright, so we have another section that we can test that's also very steep. That's between my property and the former police chief, retired. We're going to go over there, and gosh, these bugs are getting bad. Nope, too close. Won't let me start it. Alright, here we go. Put that in float. There we go. There we go. Alright. Now I do this all the time, sitting on the machine, and for me it doesn't feel awkward. But for a new operator, or someone that's just unsure about the capabilities of the equipment, they might hesitate to try to handle something like this. Now, normally in the operator seat, I would raise the attachment slightly to give the maximum weight. Now, because this goes around a curve, I don't want to lose sight of it. So I am going to turn. All right, we'll turn off the PTO. All right. And then we'll bring the equipment back. But yeah, this is pretty steep. Put that back in float. There we go. You know what? I'll turn that back on. We will mow this. What the heck? We'll do it. Now I'm taking this slow because this does feel strange to me, but still really fun at the same time. This is a pretty significant slope here. This is about 25 to 28 degrees, give or take. And these wet, slippery conditions, you see how sure-footed the equipment is. It'll just stop on a dime, it'll back up, back down. This goes all the way down to, there's a stream that runs down here. Stop. Back up. Yep, just like that. All right, so now that we've tested some of the RC capabilities, I'm going to jump on the seat and give you my first impressions of the joystick feel and tell you what I think.